Words matter. They always have, they always will. A single word can start a war or end one. It can build a dream or shatter it. It can heal a wound or deepen it. You've felt this, I've felt this. We've all been on both sides of this truth, the one speaking and the one listening. And yet, despite knowing their power, we often wield our words carelessly. We speak in haste, in anger, in fear. And then when the damage is done, we wish we could take it all back. But here's the hard truth. You can't. Once spoken, words are eternal. They echo in the minds of those who hear them, shaping their thoughts, their feelings, their very lives. And so we must ask ourselves, what kind of echoes do we want to leave behind? Think about the last time someone said something to you that cut deep. Maybe it was a harsh criticism, a careless remark, or a cruel joke. Maybe it was something you were never meant to hear, but you did. And now, no matter how much time has passed, those words still linger. They've become a part of your story, a scar on your soul. Now, think about the last time you said something you regret. Maybe it was in a moment of frustration, or maybe it was something you thought was harmless at the time. But now when you look back, you see the damage it caused. You see the hurt in their eyes, the way they flinched, the way they pulled away, and you wish more than anything that you could take it back, but you can't. And that's the tragedy of words. They are both our greatest gift and our heaviest burden. There's a reason why the ancient Greeks believed that the tongue was the most powerful weapon. It doesn't draw blood, but it can break spirits. It doesn't leave bruises, but it can crush hearts. And yet, it's also the tool we use to express love, to offer comfort, to inspire greatness. The same tongue that can destroy can also create. The same words that can wound can also heal. This duality is what makes words so dangerous and so beautiful, and is what makes words so amazing. And is what makes and wears a person's soul so beautiful. It's also what makes them so important, because every word you speak is a choice. Every sentence is a decision, and every conversation is an opportunity to build or to break, to lift or to crush, to bless or to curse. But here's the thing, we often underestimate the weight of our words. We think it's just a joke, or they'll get over it, or I didn't mean it like that. But the truth is, it doesn't matter how you meant it. What matters is how it was received. What matters is the impact it had. And that impact can last a lifetime. I've seen it in my own life, and I'm sure you've seen it in yours. A single sentence spoken in a moment of anger can fracture a relationship. A single word uttered without thought can destroy trust. And once that trust is broken, it's incredibly hard to rebuild. Because words are like seeds. They take root in the heart and grow. And if you plant bitterness, don't be surprised when it bears fruit. So, what do we do with this knowledge? How do we navigate the minefield of language without causing harm? The answer is simple, but it's not easy. We must speak with intention. We must choose our words carefully, thoughtfully, deliberately. We must consider not just what we want to say, but how it will be heard. This requires empathy. It requires self-awareness. It requires humility, because the truth is, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We all say things we regret. But the mark of a mature, responsible person is the ability to recognize those mistakes and learn from them. It's the willingness to say, I was wrong, and I'm sorry, and I'll do better. Because those words, those humble, honest, vulnerable words, have the power to heal what's been broken. But let's be clear, speaking with intention doesn't mean you'll never make a mistake. It doesn't mean you'll never hurt someone's feelings or say something you regret. It just means you'll do your best to minimize those moments. It means you'll take responsibility for your words and their consequences. And when you do mess up, because you will, you'll own it, you'll apologize, you'll make amends, and then you'll do better next time. Because that's what growth looks like. It's not about being perfect, it's about being mindful. It's about striving to be better today than you were yesterday. And let's not forget the other side of this equation, the words we speak to ourselves. Because the truth is, we are often our own harshest critics. We say things to ourselves that we would never say to someone else. We call ourselves names, we doubt our abilities, we tear ourselves down. And those words, those internal dialogues, can be just as damaging as anything spoken aloud, maybe even more so. because they shape our self-perception. They influence our decisions. They determine our worth. And if we're not careful, they can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So just as we must be mindful of the words we speak to others, we must also be mindful of the words we speak to ourselves. We must choose kindness over cruelty, encouragement over criticism, hope over despair, because the way we talk to ourselves matters. It matters more than we realize. Now, I know this isn't easy. I know it's tempting to dismiss this as idealism, as wishful thinking. But the truth is, it's not. It's practical. It's necessary. It's essential. Because the world is hard enough as it is. People are struggling. They're hurting. They're searching for meaning, for connection, for hope. And your words, yes, yours, can make a difference. They can be a light in the darkness, a hand in the storm, a lifeline to someone who's drowning. But only if you choose them wisely. Only if you speak with intention, with compassion, with love. So I challenge you to think about the words you use. I challenge you to consider their weight, their impact, their legacy. I challenge you to speak in a way that builds rather than breaks, that heals rather than hurts, that uplifts rather than undermines. Because the truth is, you have a choice. Every day, in every conversation, you have a choice. And the words you choose will shape not just your life, but the lives of everyone around you. So choose wisely, speak carefully, and remember, once spoken, words are eternal. What kind of echoes do you want to leave behind? Regret is heavy. It sits in your chest. It keeps you awake at night. It whispers in your ear, reminding you of what you said, what you did, what you didn't do. And no matter how hard you try, you can't shake it. You can't undo it. You can't take it back. But what if I told you that regret doesn't have to be the end of the story? What if I told you that it could be the beginning? Because here's the truth. Regret is not just a burden. It's a teacher. It's a mirror. It's a call to action. And if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to learn, it can transform you. It can make you better. It can turn your darkest moments into your greatest lessons. Think about the last time you regretted something you said. Maybe it was a harsh word spoken in anger, a careless comment made in jest, or a truth delivered without compassion. Whatever it was, it left a mark. It hurt someone. It damaged a relationship. And now, every time you think about it, you feel that familiar ache in your chest. You wish you could go back. You wish you could do it differently, but you can't. And that's the hard part. That's the part that keeps you up at night. But here's the thing. While you can't change the past, you can change how you respond to it. You can choose to let that regret define you, or you can choose to let it refine you. You can let it weigh you down, or you can let it lift you up. The choice is yours. The ancient Stoics had a saying, "What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the obstacles we face, the mistakes we make, the regrets we carry, they're not just barriers to be overcome. They are opportunities to grow. They're invitations to become stronger, wiser, more compassionate. And if we're willing to embrace them, if we're willing to learn from them, they can lead us to a better version of ourselves. But this requires courage. It requires humility. It requires a willingness to face the truth, no matter how painful it may be. Because the truth is, we all make mistakes. We all say things we regret. We all have moments we wish we could erase. But the mark of a mature, responsible person is not the absence of mistakes. It's the ability to learn from them. It's the willingness to say, I was wrong, and I'm sorry, and I'll do better. And let's be clear, apologizing is not easy. It requires vulnerability, it requires humility, it requires a willingness to admit that you're not perfect. But here's the thing, a sincere apology has the power to heal. It has the power to restore trust, to mend relationships, to bring people closer together. Because when you apologize, you're not just acknowledging your mistake. You're acknowledging the other person's pain. You're saying, I see you, I hear you, I value you. And that's a powerful thing. It's a bridge, it's a lifeline, it's a way forward. But apologizing is only the first step. The real work begins after the apology. The real work is in changing your behavior. It's in learning from your mistakes and making a conscious effort to do better. Because the truth is, words are cheap Anyone can say, I'm sorry, but not everyone can back it up with action. And that's what matters. That's what makes the difference. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what you say, it's about what you do. It's about how you show up in the world. It's about the kind of person you choose to be. And let's not forget the other side of this equation, forgiveness. Because while it's important to apologize, it's equally important to forgive, not just others, but yourself. Because here's the truth, you're human. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to say things you regret, and that's okay. That's part of the journey. That's part of what it means to grow. But if you hold onto that regret, if you let it fester, if you let it define you, it will eat you alive. It will rob you of your joy, your peace, your potential. And that's not what you want. That's not who you are. So forgive yourself, learn from your mistakes, and then let them go. Because the past is gone, the future is unwritten, and the present is all you have. So make the most of it. Now, I know this isn't easy. I know it's tempting to dwell on your mistakes, to beat yourself up, to wallow in regret. But here's the thing, regret is not a life sentence. It's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that you're capable of more, that you're meant for more, that you can do better. And if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to learn, it can guide you to a better path. It can help you become the person you're always meant to be. So, the next time you find yourself regretting something you said, don't let it consume you, don't let it define you. Instead, use it as an opportunity to grow. Apologize if you need to, learn from your mistake, and then do better. Because that's what life is all about. It's about learning, growing, becoming. It's about turning your regrets into lessons, your mistakes into opportunities, your pain into wisdom. And if you can do that, if you can embrace the messiness of life and use it to become a better person, then you've already won. Because the truth is, we're all works in progress. We're all trying to figure it out. And the best we can do is to learn from our mistakes, to grow from our regrets, and to keep moving forward. So take a deep breath, let go of the past, and step into the future with courage, with humility, with hope, because the best is yet to come. And you have the power to make it happen. You have the power to turn your regrets into lessons, your mistakes into opportunities, your pain into wisdom. So don't waste it. Don't squander it. Don't let it slip through your fingers, because this is your life. This is your story, and you have the power to write it. So write it well.